Holy cow! This is the Orangewood Cleo, part of the brand new Topanga collection. I'm trying my best. I'm not gonna reference Topanga, not gonna make a joke. I'm just gonna put a picture here that will remind you, if you're of the same age as me generally, and you remember who Topanga is, boom, Topanga. Okay, this is the Cleo. This is an amazing guitar that comes from Orangewood. And before we get in, there are a couple things I need to tell you. This video is technically sponsored in a couple ways. Let's talk about them. Number one, this video is sponsored by Orangewood because they gave me this guitar for a couple videos. I do not own this guitar. I don't get to keep this guitar. They are paying me some money, but in the end, it's not the end of the world, and they are paying for my time, not my opinions. And so I do that because I really like Orangewood. I like their guitars. I like their brands. This is the fourth one I've been able to have and play. I still have a 12-string from them, and I've had a couple others. They're very cool guitars. I'm very excited, and I'm thankful for them. I like their brand. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this video is kind of sponsored because Sweetwater has given me these microphones to better represent the acoustic guitars on my channel because they know my mission for pieces of gear that help accurately represent. So some people have different angles or different reasons they would need microphones for their stuff. Sometimes it's to make stuff sound better than reality. Sometimes it's to make stuff sound vintagey or vibey or cool or fat or warm or bassy. For me, I need pieces of gear that sound exactly like the room because I don't want to misrepresent what guitars and gear I'm showing off. I don't want them to sound better or worse than they are. I want them to sound like you're just sitting here. And so these Lawton Audio LA120s work pretty good for doing that, and I'm very thankful to them. So thanks to Sweetwater. So sponsor one, Orangewood. Sponsor two, Sweetwater. Thank you. Also, the third thing, make sure you subscribe before we get into the video. With all of that said, let's get into a 3-question gear review on the Orangewood Cleo. Now this, the 3-question gear review, if you don't know, is what's good about a guitar, what's bad about a guitar, and if you're in the market, what should you look for in a guitar? What is good about this guitar is the torrefied Sitka spruce top and the Pal Ferro, the solid Pal Ferro back and sides with that abalone back strip, which is so cool. This guitar is incredibly well featured, and it just feels great, feels like a professional guitar, sounds like a professional guitar. This is just a different kind of animal, I think. I really love how this guitar sounds and plays. Now, one thing is this guitar would do well with a setup. If I really dig in, I can get this guitar to buzz, but at the same time, this guitar is incredibly dynamic, and so you're able to get those really light, articulate, kind of fluttery things, but also you're able to do some really cool, like heavy right hand, dig in, strum. This would be a perfect studio guitar, playing out guitar. I mean, this is just, it's good. There's so much gas in the tank, and there's also such nuance in it being quiet. That's what gets me. Sometimes you get a guitar that just bottoms out. So let's continue what's good about this guitar. I love the style and the aesthetics and how this guitar looks. The bridge itself seems appropriate and good. The other couple that I've seen today have had a really thick bridge. Just the stock of the bridge is just really thick. This one looks like a professional guitar. And it is interesting because Orangewood just updated their logo. And so it really does look now, it really does look like a prestigious brand or like an aspirational kind of brand. Now the fingerboard is still a little plain, but hang on, I'll get to the stuff I don't like about this guitar in a minute. But continuing what I like about the guitar, I really like the abalone rosette, the abalone on the back. I like the finish of the back. It looks a lot, I mean, they say it's Pal Ferro, but I mean, it just looks like East Indian rosewood. It's beautiful. The finish work is incredible on these guitars. They do a really good job concealing the scarf joints. Or the heel joint and the scarf joint. And so you just, actually, I don't know if this one has. I don't think this one does have a scarf joint. That's amazing. I didn't see that coming. So the things I like about this guitar, I like the fit, I like the features, I like the tone, I like the playability. It feels like good. Like it feels like a guitar that just it doesn't break my gait. It doesn't make me rethink how I play guitar. I just kind of get in and play, and it's a really, really comfortable guitar. I like the cutaway. It's okay. This guitar doesn't have a pickup. They offer this with a pickup, but it's much more expensive, like $300 more expensive, because you're getting the full-blown LR Baggs Anthem. Great pickup system, but it can be a pricey option. So that's about all of the good things that I can say about this. Now, I do have a couple things that I wish were a little different on this guitar. The biggest one for me is the nut. it's Tusk, but it's like very clearly, it's very square. It's not lubricated very well. So as you're tuning the guitar, you keep hearing like tick, 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 tick. And so it's just, I mean, in the setup process, this is a part that just didn't get done totally correctly. Now, the action is still like, the nut is set up like technically really well, but I wish they would have just taken that last little bit to lubricate those slots and just make it just that tiny little bit closer to a boutique guitar. Now, the other thing with this guitar, there is, it's not that big of a complaint, but if you were to ever play up high, there is this kind of point that comes out from the guitar, and I understand other guitar brands do this, but for some reason, this one, as I'm playing it, it does kind of hit my hand a bit going up on that. Other than that, yeah, the guitar's a smidge buzzy, needs a setup. I'm trying to dig deep and find things that I don't like about it. Has ebony pins, which is awesome. That's not a feature you get. Almost everything else is plastic pins, usually for this. And I think that I love little details on guitars that are more for the player to just see and enjoy. And yeah, so on the back of the guitar there is that little abalone strip. Now the neck is probably, I don't know what material it is, but it looks like a light colored wood that has been stained dark. And so that gets me a little bit. That's the thing that I'm like, okay, like I can tell that I'm playing a budget guitar, but it is, I mean, this is like, Orangewood has been really impressive. I've had their very budget, I've had their middle of the road, I've had their previous like high end, the Hudson, which I freaking love the Hudson. And then this, I think that Orangewood is doing a thing. They're bringing a quality of guitar that you just has been not in that price point. So for me, $899, this is just bonkers. So with all that said, let's get to, should you buy this guitar? The third part of this review is a pretty obvious yes for me. This guitar is a really great sounding guitar and great playing guitar. It does a thing that affordable guitars in this price range don't typically get to do. This has a ton of low end and bass. That is the single place that most guitars just lack so much. They don't have enough bass or low end, and this guitar, it does a thing that expensive guitars do for not an expensive price. It also does a thing that expensive guitars do, which is it has nuance and subtlety. You don't bottom out, and it has a range of volume. So this guitar, I mean, just so much about this is a pro guitar. Now, I will say there's one thing to keep in mind, that this guitar is made in China, and and I'm not saying any geopolitical comments on this, but I am saying that you are responsible for the ethics and morality of the companies that you support. I've seen only good things from Orangewood, but it is a thing that I think about each time as I advocate, because it is different when, and I understand it's preposterously more expensive. Like when I bought, I don't have one in here, but when I bought like my Rude Revelator, my friend Evan built that guitar. When I bought my Paget Model 1, Ben Paget built that guitar, and I knew how he worked and how he built that guitar. When I bought my Hassan Dalton, I know Kimberly and Jeff and Mark and Brian, and I know those guys that built that guitar. So when you buy another brand, I mean, and the same thing is true, like with Epiphone or whatever brand you're going to buy from around the world. But anyway, so overall for me, I've come to a place where I would support Orangewood because I like what they're doing. I like the quality of guitars. I like their brand. I like their style. They've been really gracious to me. They've been good friends. And so for me, I think that all in, I think that this is a really cool guitar. And I continue to be astounded by how much guitar that they get. And I know, I have seen Chris's video. I've seen where they cut one apart and they say that it's overbuilt and it has glue push out and whatever. I don't care. To me, I really like the guitars for what they are in the price range they are. Sure, they could be better, but all guitars could be better. It's kind of like buying a car. They're only kind of set up for about 80% of the power they could make. You could modify your Chevy Cavalier or whatever, but you don't. You just take it as it is, and you like it as it is. And so for me, I like these the way they are, and I think that other people would too. So there will be a link in the description down below to these. I don't get any commission or consignment or whatever for that. There's no compensation other than what they're paying for this video, and then there was another video with a FERC that went up. But amazing work. Good work, Orangewood, and thanks for giving people great, I mean, this is a great option at $8.99. It also comes with a really, really, really great hard case. So anyway, 2 thumbs up, 5 stars. I approve. of this message. I'm Jeremy Shepard, the Guitar Hunter. Bye. That whole freaking time the camera wasn't going. Okay, here we go. Shit.